No, I wouldn't think so. I've had to use Miralax on occasion, and
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't work right away, but it works.
Yeah.
Welcome to my thoughtful ramblings, where we'll talk about all sorts of things, getting joy from what each new day brings. My thoughtful ramblings. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Thoughtful Ramblings. I'm your hostess, Michelle Rogers, and with me today is my son, Eric.
Hi. I don't know which camera to look into. But
I know, there's so many.
That one.
Okay. Where do we look? I don't know. So anyway, I thought this would be a really awesome kind of follow-up to where I left off. I was talking about probably I'm gonna stand to reason, Eric, that this may have been one of the toughest things you've ever been through. Was the breakup
maybe.
with that church and kind of getting out of that?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really... yeah, at the time, yeah, it was definitely pretty tough. But, I mean, looking back, I think I've gone through more challenging moments in my life. So...
Interesting. Okay. Wow. See, look at this. I'm learning. You're learning. We're all learning here. Who isn't learning, right? So, I just love that. I love seeing you being kind of the pioneer of all of those youth kids kind of stepping out into adulthood, right? I think so anyway, in a lot of senses. You know, like when you joined the Air Force, maybe that was
that was a pretty big step. That was probably one of the more challenging things I've done was basic training. In the moment, it was definitely pretty tough being away from everyone and everything. But, you know, met some great people and doing some pretty cool things, I guess. Not really cool. My job's kind of boring, but overall cooler than what I'd probably be doing if I didn't join the Air Force. So... yeah, I'm glad I did it overall.
Is it cooler than hosting a podcast with your mom?
No. No,
Right on.
is the right answer. Yeah. No, it's not. This is definitely the coolest thing I've ever done.
So what's your job in the Air Force, Eric?
So I do weather.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I forecast for planes, trains, automobiles, all the above.
I know I've prefaced
that was a good reference. I do.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes, planes,
Eric.
trains, and automobiles.
Really?
Yes, there's a train track on my base that I forecast for. I forecast for planes, and I forecast for automobiles.
Don't. Automobiles, Eric.
Yes, like tanks and trucks and stuff.
No, you don't forecast weather for them.
Yes, I
A
do.
tank could drive through anything.
That's what you think. I can't give you specifics, but
all right.
it's
Well,
not.
you know what?
It's not.
They
can get stuck in some stuff.
You know,
okay?
and if you're not being truthful with me,
listen. It's true. I can. Well,
I
I don't personally forecast for it, but I know people who do. So it's basically like
See, I knew.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't all three. There's no way.
It's too much.
It's just too much.
It's too much.
Too much. Yeah. So I love seeing like all the kind of kids growing up, and I was mentioning in my prior podcast like how you had two of the guys from youth in your wedding, and now we're gonna go see. Well, he didn't go to this youth group, but. You know, but from our prior church, he was there, and a young kid. We're going to his wedding on Saturday, and I don't know, just kind of how, just from a younger guy's perspective, you're 22. Am I correct on
22,
that?
born April 2000. I don't know if I should have given that away. Maybe just cut that part out. That might have been a.
I put in one of my patented beeps over that, Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might have been oversharing.
Yeah. And so, what's your social security number, Eric?
Yeah, my mother's maiden name
is not Rogers. I already told all you guys anyway. LOL. So definitely get rid of that DOB thing, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah. So you're 22
years old. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And so like. I mean, I just was kind of, throughout the podcast, I'm reflecting on all these kind of things that are making me this person I am now.
Yeah.
And so everything I'm talking about is pretty much through my lens.
Mm-hmm.
And everything about you and stories I've told about you
Yes.
or have all been through my lens.
All the stories, yeah.
So I'm asking you right now, is there anything out there you would like to kind of set the record straight about, or maybe put your input in? It's been haunting or on your person's.
I'm trying to think of all the stories you said for my birthday episode. Well, one of them, obviously, I mean, I don't remember it.
Keep that.
Oh, I gotta keep it right here.
Near you, just
Okay.
near you.
Sorry,
You're like
I'm not
kind
used
of
to this.
flinging the thing around like a yo-yo. You know,
I'm sorry.
amateurs.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? Yeah, the one of them I was too young to remember, and then I don't remember the other ones. I only remember the one that's the most embarrassing one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember the other story.
Where
that
he
you
meant
told.
to say peed on the flag
Yes,
in his closet.
Yes, just so we're all clear, the one where I was 2 or
I
3.
don't think I said those words. Peed on the flag
Yes.
is what he meant to say,
Yes.
but he mispronounced it.
I didn't pronounce the L.
Yes, he
Let's
didn't.
leave it at that,
Yes, and me and my husband thought it was the funniest thing. But anyway, I digress, as we've mentioned it before.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, good.
Other than that, no, because it's been like, I feel like mostly stories from your childhood and before me, and experiences I haven't experienced.
Yeah.
So I don't have any, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, well, actually, the guy wasn't a Wiccan priest. He was this and that. Like,
No.
yeah, I don't know.
He was a gay Wiccan priest, too. I didn't mention he was
Oh.
gay. I didn't know if that had any bearing.
I
I
don't
didn't
think
want
it
to
does.
offend. I don't know
How would that
anymore.
offend someone?
I don't know. But my husband, when he heard the podcast, had mentioned that's
That
funny
he
you
was
brought that
gay.
up. He said, you know, you didn't even mention he was a gay Wiccan priest. And I said, no, I didn't. But why should that matter? Bum, bum, bum. But maybe from my husband's point of view, for me to
Well,
be
that
arrested
might have
with
been
somebody,
yeah.
you know, it's better just, you know, for him to know
Yeah,
that it was with
his
someone gay.
self-esteem.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she wasn't.
Yeah. So how do you like hearing all these things about your mom? Has there been anything surprising?
No, because, yeah, you've told these stories. Yeah, these are stories we've grown up hearing.
Transparency.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost multiple times. Yeah, almost
I tend to
yearly.
do that.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to make
That's a
that a
family trait.
disclaimer in this podcast.
I think you have.
Have I?
I think you
Well,
have.
That sounds like something I would do.
yeah. I think you did in one of the
Yeah.
episodes.
I should do that.
Yeah.
More. This is another one, we'll
But
say.
I mean, yeah, I don't think there's anything that surprised me
No?
so far.
No? Okay.
No.
The gun thing? You weren't like,
You told
my
me that
poor
already.
mother.
You told
Okay.
me that.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I want to make sure you're okay. You're not scarred from that.
No. Other things that you've done and said, but not the podcast yet. Not the podcast.
Good. See, I've been working on this thing called a filter.
Yeah.
No.
That's a rough one, Ma.
It is. It's
I'm proud
been
of
a
you.
lot of
I'm proud of
years,
you.
Eric.
Yeah, it has been.
This has been a lot of years coming. I'm trying to polish myself.
Slowly but surely.
Mhm,
Like
I get
those crystal skulls, you know? They get polished over years. That's you, Mom.
A crystal skull?
Yeah.
What?
You've never seen those?
No.
All right, cut that part out too then.
What are a crystal skull? I've seen them.
Yeah,
But I didn't
They get
realize-
it's the whole idea is they didn't get cut; they got polished over years and years, like
Really?
thousands of years. Yeah,
No, but they didn't really get polished over thousands
that's
of
what
years.
science says.
I was thinking, okay, I'm absolutely sure this is not something good, but like an actual crystal that was in the form of like a human skull.
Yes, but they
with
polish
like the
it.
little
They
eyeballs.
polish it into the form of a human skull.
So they purposefully polish it
Yeah,
that
but
way.
people think it's from aliens or something. But that's not why I brought this up.
I don't even know why we're talking
I
about
don't
this,
either.
But
Because you're saying you were polished. I guess I
Yes,
should have said like
yes.
something else, like what's something that gets polished?
see how easy it is to ramble?
Yeah.
For those of you that want this.
Well, I had a feeling. I'm your son, so
yeah,
I
that's
do
true.
ramble.
That's true.
But I don't. Anyway, what were we even talking about? Polishing
Yes.
something. I don't know. What else?
So
do you
I was
polish?
asking you, like, you know, about
Jewelry.
about the different stories, and if there was there anything that you haven't heard that you think would be a good story to that's not super embarrassing to your mom?
I don't know.
Maybe Dad, though. He wouldn't
don't know.
care. Dad's not as vain as I am.
Well, have you done your? I don't remember.
He'll be on here, too.
Did you talk about the bees yet with that? Or the moth? Did you do the moth story?
No, I didn't tell the moth story.
Well, I would go with the bees or the moths if it's about that. If it's about you, I don't know. I can't think of any non-embarrassing stories.
Oh, okay.
Or any stories.
Do you have an embarrassing moment? We'll trade embarrassing moments.
No, I don't want to do that. That's not something I want to do.
Oh, all right. All right. Yeah, this one's pretty bad too.
Oh no. Is it your embarrassing moment?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you go. I'll go.
All right. So,
like a pact.
This one's awful. So when I was a teenager, we hung out at this place called Animal House. Not a place you'd want your child going to. Well, Animal House was a boarding house in Stoughton. And in this boarding house, it was like this awesome old Victorian mansion that just kind of got like, like they started throwing fire escapes on the sides and throwing exit signs everywhere and splitting it up and chopping it into rooms that they rent out. And on each floor, there'd be a bathroom. I think the top 2 floors shared one bathroom, and people rented out the rooms per week or whatever, per month. I don't know what the heck they did. But Animal House once a month would have this really, I almost said awesome, but it's not awesome, kids. It's not. They have this really horrible keg party.
Awful. Just depravity.
It was the worst. The memories I have haunt me to this day. This one does anyway. This one day. So me and my girlfriends, we decide to get a jar of coffee brandy. A big we called it a handle.
That's what we still call it to this day.
Oh, okay. Well, we still call it that. So the 3 of us went in on this, and we were having coffee brandy drinks all night. You can only do that when you're very young, by the way. I certainly would not attempt that at this age. Just the thought of it's making me sick. Anyway, so we're drinking, we're partying, a whole bunch of us. And me and my girlfriend at the same time, we both realize we have to go to the bathroom. And there is just the one bathroom on this floor. So we using the buddy system, of course, because that's what you do when you're girls, when you're ladies. And so we make our way over to the bathroom, and there's one toilet in the bathroom, because that's obviously whoever uses the bathroom is just one at a time usually. But it was a really big bathroom. One toilet, tub, shower. There's my friend going on, she's going pee. And I'm listening to her. And I'm like, will you hurry up? Will you hurry up? Will you hurry up? And my gosh, I don't know what this girl drank. She didn't stop. It just kept going. And I don't know if you've ever had to go to the bathroom and had to listen to someone else go while you could not go. It is probably one of the worst forms of torture there is. I can't take it anymore. Mm-hmm. I can't take it. I have a brainstorm. I'm just going to hang my butt over the tub.
Okay.
And then I'll rinse it all right down. Right.
Wait. Can I guess the ending of the story? You did it, but there was no water. Was that it? You couldn't rinse it down?
It's worse.
Oh, no. You pooped?
I wish. Well, so as I'm like finally starting to go, and then you hear bang, 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 pounding on the door. We're in here. And all of a sudden, you could see like the bottom of the door, like light coming through, like there's like a mob outside the door trying to push the door open.
Oh, no.
Right?
Wait.
So I think, oh no, I don't want them to see me like this. So I jump up. And the door flies open. There's the whole crowd of people. And I'm running towards the door with everything down around my knees. and I go to shut the door, and I turned to hold it, and I can hear everyone behind the door laughing. My friend is still on the toilet, kind of covering herself, laughing so hard I don't think she could move for another 10, 15 minutes. I'm holding the door like, what just happened? Still exposed. We left, and two guys asked me out on a date, which was very nice. I wasn't feeling very pretty, but I did after that, and I wanted to die. I just wanted to die.
Wow.
But wait, there's more. There's more.
Was it
maybe 4 or 5 minutes in, I'm having another drink, everyone's not really talking about it anymore and like kind of forgetting a little bit about it. And this huge guy, he was huge. He filled a whole doorway, a big doorway. This huge guy who was pissing in my tub. I give my kids baths in that tub. Who the blank was pissing in my tub? And I'm like, jaw dropped. And I look, and there's my friends pointing at me. And so I said, wow, you all really suck really bad. And I grabbed that handle and I walked home. The end.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's like a Cinderella story almost.
I know. That was probably the one of the lowest moments of my life.
Yeah, that sounds. I don't think I've ever heard that one. So
no, Joe, I hold that one close to the vest. But now,
No, I don't have one that embarrassing. I don't have one that funny, embarrassing.
Oh, it's too bad. It's really great while it's happening is probably the best. It's good when you think back on it and your face turns red. That's when you know it was like a, because I've worn overalls my whole life as a kid growing up, especially as a teenager, and peeing on the straps was a common occurrence in all our woods parties, and my friends would always call me out for, hey, look at you peed on your straps. Yeah, that was embarrassing, but who doesn't do that?
I think everyone
I don't
else.
anymore. Now I don't go in the woods anymore. You need to know that.
Sound a little bit too defensive.
I know, whatever. I know. Now it's like I'm thinking about, I had one time made my best friend laugh so hard, Gloria, who I talked about. I made her laugh so hard when we were both outside peeing that she fell over and couldn't get herself up. And she was in a patch of poison ivy. She called me like 3 days later. I hate you. And I was like, why? I have poison ivy. Good times.
Fun.
I mean, at least the Animal House thing, I didn't have like the lasting, physical scarring.
Wow. Well said, Mom. Well said.
Thank you. Thank you. So no, nothing. No, that was like a fun.
Well, I have the roller skating rink. I don't know if did you tell that one?
No, I didn't. No, I've thought about telling it.
Yeah, I have the roller skating rink one, which is another bathroom story. We have, I think, just as a family, bad luck.
No, Papa and with the Spags incident.
Dad.
Well, you can't tell.
I won't go into that.
Yeah,
though.
you can't tell Dad's dirt. You can't air his dirty laundry.
Yeah. You can't do that. They're gonna know.
That's funny.
They're gonna find out.
That was funny though. It was such a play on words. I couldn't help myself. But no, tell us this. What happened at the roller rink, Eric? I don't know.
I'll tell you from my perspective, because you tell it from the mom's perspective of like, oh, I went in there and oh.
Okay, I'll tell it from mine after.
Okay. So I forget. It was for your work. It was a work party, Olive Garden. You invited your aunt, my aunt, your sister, Paula. I don't know. Can we use real names for her?
Yes.
Okay. Paula.
For certain people we can. It's a very small list of people who've given me permission.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we were with your Aunt Paula. my Aunt Paula, your sister, and the cousins, obviously. And we were roller skating, having a good time. I think Olive Garden catered as well. So we're eating Olive Garden food, having drinks. Obviously, I was
that
like,
outing.
I was like 7, so I was having some Coke and stuff, like the drink. I was having the drink Coca-Cola.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we were roller skating, and then I was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, like right now. Like I really have to go. So here I am, little kid, don't know how to use roller skates yet. And I'm like clonking my way to the bathroom. Don't take them off because I'm like, I can't find my shoes and I don't want to go in the bathroom in socks. That's gross. People pee on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I know.
Especially the men's room. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, it is. It's always sticky.
I've been in there a few times.
But yeah, so I roller skate into the bathroom and I go up to the urinal with my roller skates on. And I start peeing. And the moment I start peeing, I slip. I fall backwards. And I pee all over myself because I can't control it. I just can't I've started, once you start, it's really hard to stop, especially at that young of an age. Mm-hmm. It's hard to stop that stream.
Mm-hmm. I think it's our DNA as well.
Yep. And meanwhile, I think there was a guy in one of the stalls.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy.
When I slipped and fell. And so that made it even worse.
He was very nice.
Yeah, because I quickly skated into one of the stalls that was next to him and was trying to quickly like wipe it off with toilet paper, but that didn't really that didn't work. And so he was like outside the stall asking me how I was doing, and I was just very, very embarrassed. But yeah, so I spent the rest of the party in the stall trying to clean myself off, and then we had to leave early because
we did,
of me.
and it was a really great party.
Yeah.
Mother's point of view. I was out roller skating with Paula. Me and Paula are beautiful roller skaters. There's no more beautiful expression with Paula than dance and or roller skating. We just meld. We meld. And we were and the DJ was just in love with us, which happens, whatever.
Of course.
And he was playing all the songs we wanted, and we would get so excited and dance around. And then Jeremy meets me on the rink, and he says, "Your son is in the bathroom." And I felt so bad for him. So I felt so bad. I left all my fun without even questioning anything.
Such a good mother. Such a good mother.
That was the first thing I did. Left my fun. Okay?
For me.
That's a lesson for you, Sam. That was the first thing you do. That's the first thing you do. So, yeah, and I went and I gave him my sweatshirt and zipped it up around him, and I didn't even make him feel bad for having to leave early. But maybe we can go roller skating again someday.
No, for some reason I don't really like to roller skate. I don't know.
That's maybe
yeah.
I probably shouldn't try to roller skate again.
Yeah,
I think I'm like,
well, you might, I
don't want to say brittle. I don't want to like profess that over myself, but the bones ain't as rubbery as they used to be. Right?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? So yeah, we are. So you're getting ready for this new life. Like you're married now. Tell us about your wife and what life is like for you, living down in Georgia. What's it like being Eric? Tell me.
It's a normal life. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's the dream.
Is it surreal
living the American dream?
Being the husband and kind of the head of the house.
Sometimes when I think about it, yeah, like we'll be sitting eating dinner and I'll be like, wow, like this is ours. Like it's kind of crazy to think about, but I don't, day to day I don't think about that stuff. I just kind of think about, okay, I have to do this for work and I have to water these plants and I have to pick this vegetable. I have a wonderful vegetable garden.
You do.
I know that.
Well. No, it is too nice. It's any vegetable is a nice vegetable.
Well said, Mom. I think we should go
unless
through
it's a vegetable you hate.
Well, what vegetables do you not like?
You know what? I had a huge vegetable fail the other night. I was so upset. I'm still reeling from it. Anyway, I've discovered I can cook well inside the oven, not on top. I don't know what it is. If it's on top of the stove, unless it's spaghetti sauce, I can make a pretty good spaghetti sauce. If it's on top of the stove,
That's where I do all
it's
my
a
cooking.
fail, but inside I can like cook really good.
Yeah,
So
well,
what I've been doing is like making, I'll take like potatoes and maybe some green beans and put olive oil, salt, peppers, seasoning, like big chunks of garlic, onion. I'll put it out on a big tray and I'll throw it in the oven 450 or 425 for 40 minutes, right? And it gets like that little goldeny kind of or darkened crispiness.
Yeah.
But man, it's been awesome. Like, and it's just like just pulls the flavor out of everything. And some days I'll throw some fish on there halfway through the cycle. Other days I'll throw chicken on there to ride on through, and it just ends up being like awesome. So I can cook that way. I've discovered. So the other night I said to myself, I'm gonna start getting creative. Oh no. And you're right. I gotta stay in my lane. My lane is potatoes, onions, and garlic.
Well, you make a mean broccoli braid too.
Oh.
Chicken broccoli braid.
Oh, I just bought crescent rolls.
Yeah,
too.
that was
So
my
maybe-
favorite meal growing up.
Maybe I'll make that for you while you're here if you
Well,
want me to
mm,
whip
we-
one up.
Hopefully, yeah, if you have the time.
Yeah, I might.
We're gonna be here all day, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Who
Yeah.
knows what'll happen?
I
Maybe
was-
I'll start defrosting chicken right after
Oh.
this. I know.
So
And
exciting.
I just bought a nice fresh pack. Although I stuffed it right into the freezer, but it's still fresh, if that makes sense. So anyway, so the fail was I bought these snacks a while ago. They were snap peas, but they were like dehydrated puffed snap peas.
Oh my god.
And I thought,
You tried
"Ugh,
cooking them?
let me try this with snap peas." And they'll be like, I almost pictured like kale chip kind of texture-ish thing, like to get, I don't know what the heck I was picturing. And I put them in olive oil and I seasoned them and I put them on my
The dehydrated ones?
on my No. I just tasted the dehydrated ones, and it made me think that
Are you talking
these will
about
be
the? Are you
delicious.
talking about the Snap Harvest snap peas?
Yeah, snap
Yeah,
peas.
they're like ground up and like turned into like a Cheeto puff. It's
Yeah.
not like a full snap pea.
Yeah,
muff.
I know that. I took that gave me the idea, thinking that these would
Not
be
a sponsor.
good in a puffy snack. You know,
Yeah.
like a nice,
like popcorn.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I could sit around eating
Who
this,
doesn't-
watching the Golden Girls, because that's my jam. The Golden Girls.
Not a sponsor.
It should be though, because it just should. Yeah. Anyway.
Speaking of sponsors,
Oh.
see,
Speaking-
that's how you do a segue.
Oh,
Ma.
that was
That's
good,
how- yeah.
honey. You don't want to hear about what happened to my peas. Let's hear about what happened to my peas after. You gotta
how
be
you-
kidding me with this story.
God. no, we already did the segue.
What? Ooh, abort segue. No, but really though, I just got to talk real quick about this business, Gutter Masters of New England. They are awesome. They did all the historical gutters on the building that we live in. And the owner of it is such a great guy. And it's so awesome to feed into businesses with really good people who pay it forward. He takes really good care of his people. And in turn, his people take really good care of other people. And I think that kudos to Brandon, man, at Gutter Masters of New England. That's guttermastersofne.com if you wanted to check them out. Check out their website. They're awesome. They just did my son's gutters. They did a beautiful job.
They did.
Seamless.
Yep.
And at the right price. And just shout out to them. But anyway, back to the snap peas. The snap pea disaster of 2022. So I seasoned them. I slaved over these little peas. I
in
dirtied
here.
bowls, and that's a thing too, like cooking and all
Ugh,
that.
I hate that. I just don't
You
clean
gotta,
it.
like,
I have
there's
Rachel
so
clean.
much you use.
That's what I do. I like,
So
I
annoying.
cook dinner, you clean. And then when she cooks dinner, I'm like, I didn't use any of these. You cleaned it up.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, right.
See, sometimes I'll just be like, "Oh, my stomach hurts." I just gotta lay down for a minute.
That's
I
a
don't
good one,
know,
too.
maybe something. I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
No, I don't do that either. Definitely. I just clean my dishes.
Yeah, we'll grab that in the morning. We'll grab those dishes. So I put the snap peas in for the norm, 45 minutes on 425. That's what's been working for me, with all these other awesome vegetables. And I'm going to underline awesome vegetables. Potatoes are awesome vegetables. Onions, garlic, awesome vegetables.
I agree.
Even carrots roasted are
I love
awesome.
carrots.
Same.
I'm growing some carrots right now.
Oh, delicious. I love fresh carrots. So here goes the timer. Here come out the beans, and I'm thinking, or peas rather.
Yeah.
And I kept mistakenly calling them beans. So Dad was all excited for beans because I was having it with like an impromptu shepherd's pie.
Oh, I love shepherd's pie.
But anyway, it was just a poop show in mass proportion. They looked okay. And then, but they had like the charredness on them, and I'm like, okay, all right, these are gonna work, all right. I see them being a crispy little snack.
Mm-hmm.
It was the worst thing I've ever eaten. It was like eating a mouthful of drain here. That consistency on chewing, and it's just like wrapping around and not like it doesn't get swallowable.
Well, the thing about that is pea pods and beans in particular are notoriously stringy. So I can imagine dehydrating them, taking out all like the in-between parts.
Taking out all of the delicious and substituting it with...
Well, not even just...
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, I bet.
It was the worst thing.
That makes sense.
And even the flavor, too, because like this is my go-to seasoning. You know, I'm not gonna give away all my secrets, but Pampered Chef makes this delicious seasoning salt, and if you don't know how to cook, it's legit called seasoning salt.
Oh,
right. You can't get it wrong.
You can't go wrong with that.
Right. So I do that, a little bit of parsley flakes, bada bing, bada boom, fresh onion and garlic. People are like, wow, what did you do? Don't worry about what I did. But those snap peas, I just threw them out in the trash today. They were the most disgusting flavor. Like, I don't know if the pea like leaked. That's funny. The pea like leaked into the seasoning. I don't know what happened, but it was a train wreck. And
but how was the shepherd's pie?
The shepherd's pie, you know, and that was another faux pas. I bought the groceries are really expensive right now, so I'm trying to cut corners where I can. And one of the corners I cut, which I'm not going to cut again, is instant potatoes.
Oh my goodness! I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Some brands of instant potatoes are okay, but this one particular brand is water only. So I just followed the directions. I was kind of bummed about the whole pea thing, and you know, I just did it, put it on the top of the shepherd's pie, stuffed it in the oven, whatever. And when I don't want to make him look bad, but when Eric was eating it, not this Eric, my husband Eric, he was like, "Really, Michelle? Really?
I've never.
You don't put butter? You don't put butter in there?" And I'm like, "Really, Eric? Really? There's dinner. Enjoy. Love, Michelle."
Did you make gravy?
No, it was dry as heck.
Oh,
I was really upset about the peas. The whole I was thinking about this. I bought those and I looked at the bag and I thought of all these possibilities. What if I was onto something new? What if no one had thought about
that's
baking these in the oven like this?
That's the thing.
And no one probably has.
Yeah, no one, or maybe someone did, and it just wasn't good. Like you.
Like, and you know what? If I can save one person out there, Eric.
Yeah, definitely.
It was all worth it. Because again, groceries are expensive.
Spread the message. Spread the word.
Right. Eat them raw. Eat them raw, kids.
That's what they're made for.
Yeah. And it was funny. I don't know if they weren't very good quality because when I was laying them out, I'm like, aren't these the things that I often see on like a raw vegetable platter? Right?
Yes.
Like it triggered that memory.
I don't eat them, but I usually see these somewhere.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. So I had one and I was like, oh. I mean, okay. It wasn't drenched in ranch dressing. I get that. But I'm thinking, at least, like broccoli or like those other vegetables in there, carrot sticks or whatever.
Tomatoes.
They got tomatoes, peppers, pepper strips. Those got like, they taste all right, like on their own, even though it's a vegetable. But man, this snap pea, it just wasn't even good on its own.
I really like snap peas. So
Well, if I had known that, I would have saved them for you.
You know what I hate? Eggplant.
I like
Disgusting.
eggplant.
Disgusting. I hate it. It's like
Father
a weird.
likes eggplant too. No, he doesn't.
No, it's gross.
I like eggplant.
Ugh, ugh.
Why?
It's gross.
What's-
Because it feels like you're eating a tongue. It does.
It
does.
could.
No, it does. It's gross.
Well, not fried.
Yeah, because it still gets soggy. There's too much water in there. Even if you put salt, it's a waste. It is.
Okay, all right. I can respect that opinion.
I can respect the eggplant flavor. Like if there were eggplant chips, maybe you should try that next time. Eggplant chips. But I bet you it's been tried. And it's not that
But if my
good.
husband doesn't like eggplant, and
Well,
you don't live
100%,
close by,
100%,
but-
it's a texture thing for him too, because he also doesn't like tomatoes because of that reason. Not to get into my dad's, dirty laundry.
Sorry.
But yeah, he doesn't like tomatoes either for that reason. Neither does. Well, I think Sam's gotten into tomatoes, but yeah.
Well, you know what? Tomatoes are one of my favorite fruit/vegetables.
I love tomatoes.
I do too.
You know, I recently heard this online. I get all my information from online. You know me.
As long as
I'm
it's not
very-
Wikipedia, honey.
Very tech savvy.
Or .gov.
But apparently, listen, I work on a doc.
I know. I'm just kidding.
No, I don't. It's .mil. I work on
that's
.mil
right.
sites. Secret stuff. Not really. But what was I gonna say? This is what I was gonna say. Sorry if I just screamed. That might come out awful in post. If this even comes out in post, I don't know. What the hell was I talking about?
Tomatoes. We were talking about tomatoes.
Tomatoes. I totally lost my train of
Sam
thought.
likes tomatoes now.
Oh, that's right. You said fruit and vegetable. Did you know that botanically, there's no such thing as a vegetable? So if you call a fruit a vegetable, culinarily, it is a vegetable. So you can call a tomato a vegetable, and people who correct you are wrong. So just start calling them vegetables.
You know what though? I like that. Yes, but I'm also going to challenge that from a Christian's point of.
Oh! Look who's the novice now. Look who's the novice now.
Hey,
yeah.
hey. I'm still an amateur over here. Oh shoot! Now I forget where I was.
You're
going.
talking about fruits, tomatoes.
Oh yes. From a biblical perspective, fruits are mentioned in the Bibles many times, but never vegetables.
Yeah, that's because vegetables.
Absolutely no. I take that back. Like Daniel in the book of Daniel, like when he was, that comes to mind.
Yeah,
like.
But the
his
thing
meals.
is, vegetables are culinary. Like, you don't have a botanical classification for vegetables. There's a classification of fruits in botanics, like anything that has a seed in it is a fruit.
Okay.
But
just no vegetables.
there's no, vegetable, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's all fruit, because I was picking.
Well, no, broccoli's not a fruit. Broccoli's a flower bud. I learned that from a very smart woman. My mom told me that.
Sometimes.
No.
Aw, honey. Someone misses me. I can tell just by the way he's looking at his mama. Oh, it's nice, though. It's nice having you home and getting to have these conversations.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what...
No
what
matter how
it's-
derailed they get. I didn't
Yeah.
realize how easy it is to derail. But I guess because when you're just talking free flow, you know, it's just easy to kind of get into these sidebars.
And I think that, again, that was because that's very much how my brain and other people's brains, they got sometimes, that's how mine works. And it's funny because there was someone who listened to the podcast that is very militant about how things are supposed to be, and we're not going to talk about that name right now. I'll tell you after. Just process and processes and is very orderly. And I'm not knocking that. I've always, looked at people like that and been like, wow, like people who keep meticulous notes and have things just so, and those types of people have always, and I've gotten, you should really format your show, maybe, work off of some sort of an outline. And I'm like, I do. But that's, again, the ramblings. I think that's that's just how someone's brain works, right?
Well, that is the name of the show, so.
Yeah. So being married and being out on your own, and like,
That's where we started this.
Yeah, right? Because you were talking about your vegetable garden. And now, in just curiosity, in comparison to, you were literally just home not too long ago, probably
3 years ago.
3 years. And now, if you were to compare and contrast your life from then to now, like, what do you think you've kind of gained most in the past 3 years?
Maturity and responsibility. Yeah, those are the two things. And usually, I know I was late for this. It was my wife.
I know. He's
But
blaming his wife.
Yeah, I like to. Well, they
you,
probably heard it in my mic. I like to be punctual. Like, before, I would usually be late to work and stuff, but I've gotten a lot better with that kind of stuff. So I've just kind of grown up a lot more, and I feel like more of an adult. But
that's awesome. Yeah. It was a funny thing, like, when I'll never forget when you were getting Eric as a kid was
amazing,
like
extraordinary
in a lot of ways, like me, and how I talk, like that kind of all over the place. His room. You could tell a creative person lived in that room. It was everything, everywhere, all the time. You couldn't find anything. And literally, like, I would get calls all the time. Mom, can you bring my book? Mom, can you grab this for me? Mom, I forgot this. Mom. And when he left for the military, he was leaving at like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. And we were all going to go there to see him off. And I got a text at like 4 in the morning. Hey, Mom, can you make sure you grab my ... And I was looking at the text, and I'm like, that drill sergeant ain't going to go for that. They're going to,
Yeah. And they didn't go for that.
Oh, I forgot that. Oh, I left that in my barracks. And so how do you think, like, on like little things like that? Like,
I mean, I still forget stuff, but I'm definitely better at keeping track of like what I need to do and being I'm still a mess. I hate cleaning, but
too.
But yeah, I think I'm better at it overall.
But that's why you marry someone that likes to clean.
And the biggest
like
biggest
Rachel
thing
and Eric.
that I still do from the military is the way I make my bed. People call me crazy for it, but I like to make my bed very specifically. So that's the only thing.
I like also having a nice made clean. You know what's messed up? Can I publicly complain for a minute? And I hope my husband doesn't care. Maybe he will. We'll find
Probably
out.
will.
We'll find out once this airs. Really, Michelle? Really? Like, some days I go in our room after work or whatever, and I look, and only half the bed is made.
Well, share the load, Ma. Equally yoked. That's biblical. That's biblical.
And every time I shake my head a little and go, I just walk to the other side and make the whole thing. But half the bed.
Yeah, I honestly find it almost harder to make only half the bed.
Yeah, because
it's
things
more difficult.
aren't even. I like my bed nice and even and right and.
Yeah, Rachel hates the way I make the bed because I make it like really tight.
So
and she's
her
like,
feet get stuck in
Yeah.
Okay.
She hates it, but I love it. I like the way I make my bed. So
Yeah, good. I sleep on my side anyway, so. But if I was to lay flat on my back, my feet being up like this, that would be uncomfortable.
I used to sleep on my side, but now what I do is I sleep belly down, but I turn so my head is on my side, and it's been really messing up my back. But it's the only way I can sleep comfortably.
No, I understand. I sleep like that too, but
it's
without
awful.
a pillow. Don't sleep with you put a pillow in the mix. That's gonna wrench your neck.
Well, that's what I do. I have a pillow right here.
No.
Oh no.
No.
Okay, I'll take the pillow.
Although that is nice to collect the drool.
Oh, you should see my pillow.
Oh, I know. I'm gross too. I drool like crazy. Like I wake up, I'm like
Yeah.
soaked,
And
and
then-
like my shoulder. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
and then
the
my
heck?
dog,
It's
the
just
se-
all my drool.
Yeah, the second
Ugh.
I get out of bed, that's exact. She goes right to my pillow and she just lays down.
That's
She
our
gets in my spot.
my
That's
grand
my
dog.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah.
It's not like a weird person that kind of crawls out from under the bed. And is like, oh,
Hell, oh no, we're back in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sleep with our dog too, so I totally get that. But yeah, so you're here until Sunday. What time are you leaving on Sunday, Eric?
I don't know, honestly.
Are you driving?
Yes.
How long of a drive is that?
Depending, it can be anywhere from this time it was 21 hours straight. I mean, with lots of stopping, obviously for resting, and
Yes.
we slept a couple.
Oh, and you switch back and forth.
Yeah, and it was over the course of 2 to 3 days.
Yeah. And you switch. There was
There
five
was
drivers in that.
Yeah, there was like 5 or 6 drivers that we drove with.
Yeah, and you all stopped anyway.
Yeah,
Like we let's get out and stretch our legs. That was a big
and
thing.
take a nap. Yeah,
Yes.
we're always very conscious
Oh
of that.
yes, rest. They
I
don't
would-
call them rest areas for
I would
nothing.
I would never drive for more than, I'd say 3 hours, 4 hours at a time, to 2,000 miles at a time.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, never in my life would I do that.
Well, that's like just imagine
Or
you're
500,
driving
I
an
meant
electric
500.
car.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
You know.
Because you are technically an electric car.
Yeah, and then you stop, you take your break, you recharge.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but so it's about a 21. If I were to drive it straight, it would have been like a 21-hour drive. We drove for 21 hours, and
Total.
Yeah, without stopping, like without including the stopping that we did. And then on the way home, it's probably gonna be like 18 because we won't hit traffic, and we hit traffic in like Baltimore and stuff.
Yeah. My husband lovingly refers to the Northeast as the butthole of the country. And only because of
tight the
the
center is.
traffic and the political. Just kidding. But it's true.
Kind of is, yeah.
Like the butthole of the country, because everything kind of like gets all clogged up and jammed all up in here.
That's not how my butthole works.
But yeah, once you get past that, like I'm gonna say Virginia, then it gets really just smooth, and we've made that drive a few times too. Eric's been down in Mississippi for a little bit, which was awesome. I loved, and we took one of the youth kids with us. I don't know if I can mention his name. I'll call him
Sandy.
I was gonna call him like Candy or something. Whatever.
Sandy.
Sandy's nice. Yeah.
Sandy's nice.
Yeah, it makes me think of like a dog, like a little loyal little puppy. Anyway, going down with Sandy was great.
Yeah.
And going to Mississippi and getting to see Texas, and it's just cool getting to see our country.
Yeah, it's been really kind of definitely been able to get some, not I wouldn't say cool, but some different perspectives, and like seeing like the way people live in different parts. I've only been in the Southeast mainly, but like different parts of the country and stuff. It's kind of interesting because you get like a sense of sheltered likeness when you're up here, and like you're like, oh, stuff like something like blah blah would never happen, but it happens down south.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And it's funny that you say that, because you when you do go down there, I've noticed like a slower kind of up here. Everyone's in such a rush. I don't know if it's all the Dunkin' Donuts being placed strategically on every corner.
Down south we have Krispy Kreme, so the glaze.
Oh, they're like, give me my donut and some biscuits.
Yep.
I love that Southern food. That
It
Southern food
greases
is
their joints.
bomb. And the fried chicken and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's so good down there. And I loved it. And
I think it's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Texas, that was beautiful. We went to San Antonio. We didn't see much other than that, but I've gotten to see a lot of the country growing up myself, traveling across with my family. But it's nice to see parts I've never been. Like I've never been to Texas before you went into the military.
Wow.
Getting to see that awesome graduation. And if you got any military or first responders, community servants, thank you. Thank you guys all for doing everything you do. We just love and appreciate y'all so much. And it is a sacrifice. I see military guys, and I know you sometimes get like embarrassed when people thank you for your service?
Yeah, because it is embarrassing. Because it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's not that I don't appreciate. Of course, I appreciate it, but it's like, I don't know. I don't like think about it like that. You know?
Yeah, it's like your job now,
Yeah.
and like what you do, and just kind of, and I'm thankful to see you like taking advantage of the awesome school benefits and the benefits that the military has in and of a whole. It's just such an awesome resource for kids to go to out of high school.
That's
or,
why
you
they
know,
do it.
Yeah,
To get young kids.
yeah, and it just makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I'm just really, really thankful you took advantage of all that. But the sacrifice, like I had some young kids come into my work, and I work as a local barista, and they were all in their military uniforms. I was like, hey, thank you so much. And one of the kid, I'm gonna call him a kid because he was so young. And he's like, oh, no. He could tell I made him embarrassed. And I was like, you know what? No, yes. I'm going to say yes. And here's why. Because even though you're getting so much out of it, at the end of the day, you've put your name on a line that a lot of other people wouldn't. Because at the end of the day, you're called to do something or go somewhere without your say. You sign over your freedoms to move about the country as you would like, to move about the world as you would like, to work and do and go and be and drink or party or whatever. You sign your freedoms away as an American citizen for the most part, saying, okay, if we get into it, I'll be there.
Yep.
And that is a huge sacrifice, and it's a huge sacrifice for the families. Thanks, families. But like, just, even like police and fire, I don't think we pay enough mind to the people that serve us in our own communities, let alone across the country and the world. But it's awesome. It's an awesome sacrifice, and it's a lot of integrity, and that I'm thankful to see that you have as a full grown adult. Like, I mean, yeah, whatever. You're still 22. You're still a kid. You're still allowed to make mistakes and whatnot. But it's just at the same time, like, as we've been kind of like I've been talking about my life growing up and like all the mistakes, and I just mentioned the times I actually got fingerprinted in mugshots. I'm not talking about the times that I got, like they let me go. Like, I was always in trouble. I was always doing the wrong thing. I could not make a decision that was correct. And to see my children be in the polar opposite of that and how they live, but to also have that same, to see myself and you in a lot of ways, almost as if, wow, is that what my life would have been like if I tried? If I didn't go to that keg party? Like those, like, like Miracle on 31st Street kind of a thing. And I believe it's God's like full circle redemption in a lot of ways for me as a mom, getting to, be present for my kids in a way where, I hope that my transparency didn't scare you all the time. I'm sure it might have freaked you out from time to time, but and just having that closeness, it's pretty awesome now to see you guys as full-fledged adults who don't need. You're gonna make fun of how I said that.
No, I'm not. I won't.
I
do
totally
that
saw that, and you're like, your lips were like, like chomping at the bit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a nicer person is the thing.
Wow.
That's the big thing I'm working on is being a more considerate and gentle. Being gentle.
That's good. I've been reading Proverbs.
Wow.
I know the Lord always puts that on my heart. Why don't you read that again, daughter? Come on, why don't you get into those Proverbs, Michelle? It's like, it's almost like he's speaking right to me so often. But yeah, it's just as a mom, as I don't know, as a youth leader, because I had some capacity in that, getting to watch you mature spiritually, and give that amazing word that day at church. And I know, well, it's just been an honor and a privilege.
Well, you're welcome for being so great. So,
well,
what can I say?
I mean, look where you came from. You know? So yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this episode today, Eric?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
well-
you got any more? You don't have any more questions for me?
Well, yeah. Well, you're embarrassing. I
I'm
mean,
embarrassing
I
you?
always have some. I have a question for you.
Oh, God.
I was about to wrap it up, but I can't believe I
You missed that one.
I missed this one. This was one of my points.
Oh.
If there was any action you could take back,
Oh God. What would it be and why?
I'm thinking in youth. There was something you did in youth.
In youth? Like
Yeah.
in my youth or in youth group?
In youth group.
Something that I did that I would want to take
you were
back?
a part of. That
was
is a horrible story, but
Oh. I wouldn't take that back. It's funny. Maybe in the moment I would have, but looking back, it's a funny story. And
so what happened?
it's not like we don't. I do feel bad about this. If you're listening, Ted, you know who you are, Ted. Yeah. But I still am sorry about this. But one day we had and everybody else will know exactly what I'm talking about. But one day we had a camp, a camp retreat for our youth group. And it was all guys. It was an all guys retreat. I forget where. I think it was somewhere in New Hampshire, and there was like a lake. And it was just a really fun time, like just chilling, hanging out. A couple youth leaders went, and all like the guys went, and it was just it was a good time to kind of relax and let loose. Anyway, we rented canoes. This is how the story begins. We rented some canoes, and we went out for the day on the canoe, and our youth leader Ted, he kept tipping our canoe over. I was in a canoe with friends. I was in a canoe with friends, and he kept tipping our canoe over, so we had to keep putting it back up, and every time we would flip it back over, it'd be filled with water, so we'd have to empty it out. And once we got back in, he would tip it back over, and we'd have to do the whole thing over again. And so we were getting upset. We were like, "Oh, we got to get this guy back. He keeps tipping our canoe over." So we get out of the canoes, and later that day we go to like a Walmart to pick up supplies, and get whatever you want if you need anything, like if you want anything, whatever. And so me and my friend got this great idea to we were like, "Oh, you know what we should do? We should get a thing of Miralax and put it in his coffee." So okay, all right. Does that happen often?
Sometimes I
He's like,
that was someone in my house opening the door trying to be quiet, but the door is super squeaky.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, so anyway, we went to the store. We got Miralax, and he got this huge, like a carton of coffee. It was like an orange carton, like the cartons of orange juice and stuff, but it was filled with coffee. And so we're like, "Oh, perfect. We'll put a little bit in his coffee, and he'll have to go poop. It's gonna be funny." And so we did that, and we came back, and we were like, secretly, he'd like put it in the cooler, so we secretly put some in, and he started drinking it, but nothing really happened. So we were like, maybe this isn't working. So we put a little bit more in. He drank some more, and nothing happened. Obviously, he didn't know about it. Like, he drank it unknowingly. Still, nothing was happening. So we were like, So we just ended up dumping the whole bottle in it. And we were like, "Oh, well, it's diluted. Like, he's not going to drink the whole thing. Like, he'll drink it over the period of time, and it's going to be funny because, whatever, it's funny." So he ends up drinking the whole thing in one day, and it was an entire like 6-ounce thing of Miralax. And so we thought it was hilarious at first. It's not funny though. Don't do that to people because it can hurt them for real.
Like those pains, those pains that make you sweat.
Yeah. And so still nothing happened. He was not going to the bathroom, so we were like, "Oh, maybe this was just like garbage Miralax, and like it just didn't work." And so that night, me and my friend were sleeping outside in like a hammock, I think, or something, and we heard his tent zipper open.
and we saw him run off into the bathroom. We were like, finally it worked. That's funny. Yeah, we got him to go to the bathroom. And then we were chuckling about it, and then he came back. We were still laughing about it, didn't tell him. And then 10 minutes later, zip, runs to the bathroom. And he's there a little bit longer. He's there for like 20 minutes now. He comes back, hunched over. We're like, oh, maybe this wasn't funny, but we're still kind of loud. I'm like, well, you know, that's what you get. You tipped over our canoes, you know?
You ain't gonna be in a canoe tomorrow, boy.
Yeah. And then 5 minutes later, he zips it. Zip. We hear, and he's like, oh, and he's walking, and he's there for like an hour, sitting on the toilet, and we're like, oh crap, maybe we should go see him. So we go into the bathroom, and we're like, hey Ted, like, are you okay? Like, how are you doing? And he's like, all you can hear is moans and like guttural primal sounds coming from the bathroom. And it's funny to look back on, but we were like, oh, we kind of screwed up. Like we might have hurt him a lot. So after like an hour of him pooping in the bathroom, or going to the bathroom, I should say, I don't want to be crass and disgusting.
That is horrible.
But anyway, he came back and he went to the tent. We were like, maybe we should tell him, so like he doesn't
He's moving his microphone everywhere.
I talk with my hands.
I know,
so.
same.
But yeah, so we're like, maybe we should tell him, like, so he doesn't think he's like gonna die or something.
Right.
So we're like, hey Ed, we're really sorry about this. We thought it was gonna be funny, but we put Miralax in your coffee. We didn't think you were gonna drink the whole thing in one day, and he was not happy with us.
Yeah, I know.
He refused. He just, I forget his exact words, but he said something like that. He was just like, just pit. He was very upset.
He was very disappointed. Yeah, hurt.
Yeah.
He was not happy about that.
And then he just didn't talk to us for like a month. Or maybe he didn't talk to me for like a week because I felt really bad.
Yeah,
But the other friend, he didn't talk to for a while, I think.
Yeah. And that was okay. He needed some time to be angry.
Yeah, I think so. And that's totally fine.
He had earned that.
Yeah. And then after that, you know, he forgave. He didn't forget, I don't think, but he forgave. I don't think you can forget an experience like that.
I don't think you can either. I can't. I was embarrassed with him just like telling me what happened. I was mortified. Like, oh my gosh. We were pretty embarrassed.
Yeah, I just went into, right after that day, I just went into my room and I just stayed there for a couple of days. I was like, I don't want to see anyone.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
And then we got...
He could have cleaned it while you were in there, but whatever.
Well, we got an earful from his wife, too, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what happens. You know what? Because they're one. You know, husband and wife are one.
But yeah, now we know, and now you all know, that Miralax gag in Dumb and Dumber isn't as funny in real life.
Yeah, no.
It's just not...
No, I wouldn't think so. I've had to use Miralax on occasion, and it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't work right away, but it works.
Yeah. See, that's what we thought. We thought it'd be like 15 minutes he'd be on the toilet pooping, and we'd be like, you had to go to the bathroom.
A whole bottle, though. I would have died as I watched him drink the last of the coffee. I think that's probably where I would have been
we didn't know. We didn't know until we saw it in the trash, and we were like, oh. And then my dad was like, yeah, you drank the whole thing. Dad didn't know. Obviously, you didn't know about the Miralax.
Oh, he didn't know.
No,
okay.
It was only me and Nick, and like maybe like one or two youth kids.
I
mean, me and my friend. It was only. It was only me and my friend. Cut that part out. It was only me and my friend, and maybe like one or two youth kids that saw, like, us putting it in his Miralax. And he drank. Yeah, we didn't, but we weren't like paying attention to him.
He had a nice flat stomach for the longest time after that.
Yeah, he looked good.
He really did. He looked really good. So, not that day or the day after.
Or like maybe a week or two after.
Once he got the color back, then he looked so good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so not something I would ever suggest, though.
No,
my gosh, that was horrible, and I was embarrassed for you. I think that was that's an embarrassing moment. Although you weren't the one pooping.
I wasn't the one, no, but...
You were the one who caused it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. But I don't look back on that thing and be like, oh...
I know.
I mean, I do, like, I was an idiot for doing that, but hindsight, looking back, it kind of does feel like the Dumb and Dumber movie. Like in the moment, it was kind of bad, but like looking back, I do laugh at how stupid I was. If you're listening, Ted, I laugh at how stupid and insensitive I was.
That's what I laugh at too.
Yes, it was not funny for you in the slightest.
Not at
Not
all.
at all.
I might even ask Ted to come on to follow up on these questions. Maybe he'll.
Well, hey, yeah.
Maybe
if he
he'd
wants
like to dig a little deeper into that day. Maybe there's a whole other side we've never heard.
There probably is.
You
I'm
know?
sure he's might have repressed it.
He may
I
have.
probably would have.
That's what happens with a lot of people who suffer from PTSD. They need to forget
get
about
flashback.
it.
Like I'm sure he gets flashbacks if he sees Miralax. Like flashes and
if you've ever used Miralax too, I don't know if you've ever gotten the pleasure.
I have actually an amazing gut biome, so I've been okay.
Well, for those that don't, when you use one of those types of
laxatives, stool softeners, if you will.
stool softeners, you know how they dissolve in whatever you're drinking.
Mm-hmm.
It leaves like an oily film on the top, and that like oily film, it's very reminiscent of castor oil to me, which makes me like kind of has a similar effect.
It's almost his fault too, because he should have noticed the oily film.
But if he's drinking it out of a carton, like it's not like you're unless you
a
have
whole thing of Miralax. So it was probably like an inch of oil.
I don't understand like how there was no gritty powder at all. I don't know.
Well, it was probably sitting at the bottom and then over the day dissolving continuously.
Gosh.
And then with that last
And
slurp,
I bet too, like right before he takes a sip, he shakes it all off.
yeah, because it had cream in it and stuff too, I think.
I can picture him. Glug, glug, glug.
Yeah.
He's a really good guy,
Yeah,
though.
he is.
I worked with him for a little while. Great guy.
Yeah.
And forgiving. And
Yes.
thank God for forgiveness because it gives you that nice new lease on life.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I'm thinking we're good, and we're
Okay.
gonna wrap up
Go
the
out
show.
with a bang.
I wanted people to get to meet you. I wanted people to get to hear your voice and see your
Yeah.
face.
Well,
You're gonna get
here
to
I am.
meet all the Rogers family, so get excited. I know.
we're all great. So.
Right?
Yeah.
You really are, and I'm pretty thankful for you all. And maybe on the next visit we can figure out 3 microphones and get your beautiful wife in here on this conversation.
She doesn't need to know.
I know. They all want to steal the
I
spotlight.
know. It's awful.
I know.
It's awful.
I got one out there too. If you know what I'm
my
saying.
goodness.
This is how I've always gotten myself in trouble with my husband, is with these conversations with my son. So I'm pretty sure this one will. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think, we'll find out.
Set
right?
the timer.
I mean, yeah. I could set the timer to that. But anyway, thank you guys all so much for listening. I love you all so much, and have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you next time on Thoughtful Ramblings. Bye. Ba-dum-bum.